day I was scrolling through my Instagram and I happened upon this video of this girl talking about what the cool girls are wearing in the Cotswolds. And I thought this was really fun. Now, I don't follow her. I don't know who she was, so I cannot reference this video, unfortunately. You know how it goes. Sometimes you're scrolling and you just happen upon something and you watch it, and that's exactly what happened. She talked about this heritage look and how to recreate it to be a cool girl in the Cotswolds. Now, I grew up with a British mom. I have family still in England, and I spent many a summer cold and wet in the rainy countryside. And so I do know this style quite well. And I feel like it's one of those looks that can be super chic, super luxurious, and really aristocratic. So I thought this would be the perfect subject to talk about how to recreate this look, especially in this transition season of spring, where we have a lot of cool and really rainy days. This is the kind of perfect look to adopt. I want to give credit to Coco Chanel, who was really the original of bringing this kind of look from the British countryside, the farmers, the royals, the aristocracy to the mainstream. Coco Chanel in the 1920s had a love affair with the Duke of Westminster and spent a lot of time in his estate in Scotland, hunting and fishing and horseback riding and spending time outdoors. And so she would borrow a lot of his clothes in order to really fit in and to be comfortable. And we all know that Coco Chanel really modernized how women dressed because she got them out of corsets and into comfortable clothing that was easy to move in. And tweed was definitely one of those fabrics that she fell in love with from spending time in Scotland. Coco Chanel really made tweed a fabric that was really adopted for practical reasons to a fashion kind of fabric. And then later on, we see, of course, the likes of Ralph Lauren adopting this same kind of aristocratic heritage look to the mainstream. A few things to think about when you're trying to incorporate some of these heritage looks. Definitely a waxed jacket in any kind of size, any kind of color, cinched in at the waist, not cinched in at the waist, creates that kind of cool girl heritage vibe. But you could interpret this to another step. You could just do a canvas kind of jacket here. You could just do a raincoat, or you could incorporate a tweed jacket to get this kind of look. Okay, next thing this girl talked about that was key to the cool girl heritage look, and that is a pair of Wellingtons, or as they call them in England, wellies. And honestly, walking in the British countryside, you do need a pair of Wellingtons. Most people there keep them in the trunk of their car because you never know when you're going to need them. But yet they're not as practical as a boot to wear in the city. So interpreting the same kind of idea by doing perhaps a kind of clunky walking boot or a tall leather boot, riding boot kind of style, even doing a Blundstone boot, for instance, or taking inspiration from the Queen and doing some kind of lace-up shoe. Any of those styles, I think, recreate the heritage kind of look. And then let's talk about plaid. Another gorgeous Scottish fabric with origins on the more practical side and not so fashion side, and over the years have really become definitely a fashion staple, particularly for that heritage look. Whether you want to do a plaid in a skirt, whether you want to do it in a pant, whether or not you want to do it in a jacket, somehow incorporating in a little bit of this fabric really recreates that look. And then, of course, the cool girls in the Cotswolds are wearing cashmere sweaters. This is key to recreating the cool heritage look. And it's true, but it does not even have to be cashmere. I think the idea of bringing in some kind of wool sweater, being an Irish knit or a cardigan or a beautiful scarf, This could be a plaid or a neutral, but definitely having that texture and that layer of wool screams heritage. And then of course, we're gonna think about a hat, some kind of hat. Now that page boy sort of flat cap is the perfect heritage look. And in my opinion, so super chic. I love them. I love the way they look, and they're so great in the rain. That is going to bring in perhaps your plaid or your tweed element, but you don't have to do a flat cap. You could do a hat here, something with a little bit more structure, or you could do something soft, again, taking a nod from the queen and do a silk scarf over your head. Lovely, super chic. And actually, I really do love the way this looks, although it does not look good on me. And then finally, the girl in the Instagram video talked about wearing a piece of jewelry that you inherit from your granny. And I have to admit, I quite love this idea, whether you decide to do, let's say, a pearl earring. And again, this does not have to be something that you inherit, but it can have a little bit of an old world vibe to it, like a pair of pearl earrings, or playing around with a beautiful brooch, for instance, or stacking some rings. I think it's really fun to have an outfit that is quite soft and quiet and, dare I say, plain, and then just add in a little bit of sparkle with some great jewelry. I love this idea. And if it's inherited from your granny, even better. This heritage style, even though the word was new to me, has been a style that has been around for forever. And it is always going to be in style. If this is something that you like the idea of, that you would like to try, I urge you to, because you can incorporate any of these looks so easily just by taking one of those elements and playing around with it a little bit. Let me know how that goes for you in the comments. You know I love hearing from you. Don't forget, you can check me out on Substack. And of course, for more style ideas, for more inspiration, or just to see what I'm wearing, then don't forget to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you liked this video, please don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up.